Hey guys, welcome back to another video on the channel, and today we're going to take a look at the finals of the Champions Chess Tour played in Norway in December, a game between Magnus Carlsen, who in the end was the winner of this event for the third time, playing with the white pieces, the best player in the world, Magnus Carlsen, and with black, Ian Nepomniachtchi, also one of the best players in the world from Russia. And all of you remember 4 years back, Carlsen defeated Nepomniachtchi in the World Championship in Dubai, although later on he decided to retire from the World Championship, leaving Nepomniachtchi to play with Belinki for the same World Championship. So Nepomniachtchi, unlucky for sure in the World Championships. And more recently, after this event, this was the final in Norway in December, they met again in the finals of the World Blitz and Rapid, specifically the Blitz, where they agreed to share the title after the third Blitz game. I'm sure many of you remember that that event, which was quite unclear, the solution, if that was the correct one. I was actually watching that event in the last day of the year and having a great time watching the Blitz tiebreak, and then they decided to share, and it was like, I would have preferred one of them to fight to the end like gladiators, which I think both of them are anyway. Okay, so let's get back to the game. Remember, Carlsen with the white pieces, Nepomniachtchi with the black pieces, and let's see how the game went. So Magnus opened with d4. Nepomniachtchi plays e6, offering Carlsen the option to transpose with e4 to the French, which Carlsen decides to accept. And both players repeat the line which Gukesh used to beat Belinki in one of the games in Singapore in the match, which I covered here on the channel. Now, this line is the Steinitz variation, or the classical variation of the French, and for many, many years, the main move has been f4. f4, which I have played with white and black extensively in my career. And here, black has many different options. Sometimes white goes long castle, sometimes short castle. Nowadays, this line has been analyzed in great depth, and black has several ways to try and keep equality. So top players have shifted to knight c to e2, trying to set up very quickly a pawn barrier and maybe play f4 or maybe play knight to f4, depending on what black chooses to do in his own setup. c5, c3, knight to c6, and here the move which has given a bit more light to this variation is this a3, with the idea to play b4. Now if black plays c4, shutting down the queen side, now white can obviously play f4, but he can also play knight to f4 with a free hand on the king side. So generally, black plays queen to b6 or a5. If black plays queen to b6, then b4 is a very good move, forcing black to define the capture or the advance. In the game, Nepomniachtchi and also Belinki, both of them played a5, preventing b4 and threatening at some point to clamp down with a4 and then go for these weak squares on the queen side. But of course, this does allow white to launch an attack on the king side, which Carlsen promptly decides to do. h4, going for h5, preparing rook h3, g3. Modern chess. You can see why Carlsen likes to play the freestyle line at the tournaments, because this is actually more or less freestyle now, moving the h-pawn, moving the a-pawn, bringing the rook out on the third rank. This is very freestyle chess. Queen to a5, bishop to d2, queen to b6, rook to b1, just protecting everything. Bishop to e7, bishop to e3, and here black castled. Now I don't think castle is a good move, and I'm sure Nepomniachtchi would not repeat this castling if they played this line again, which in fact I think they did play in one of the Blitz games, this same line, and Nepomniachtchi castled on the queen side. Nepomniachtchi should have played either knight to a5 or queen to a5 and carry on playing this position. Castle just, I mean, it's like putting a bull in front of a bullfighter with a red, you know, this cloth they use, no? Come for me, no? So, of course, Magnus decides to go straight for the king with the idea bishop d3, knight to g5, queen to h5, rook to h3. Now, of course, Nepomniachtchi plays queen to b3. And here, Carlsen plays a not so obvious move. He doesn't want to exchange queens, that's clear. But he could have played queen to d2. But instead of that, he played queen to c1. And when I saw this move, I was thinking like, why does he put the queen on c1 instead of d2, which is more natural and even more agreeable? One reason I thought maybe to play knight to d2 at some point. I thought this might be an idea. But then I analyzed a bit and found the following line. Against queen to d2, black takes. And the thing is, if you recapture with the pawn, black has bishop takes a3. And the rook on b1 is hanging, so you can't take the bishop. Of course, with the queen on c1, bishop takes a3 is not possible because the queen protects the rook. So this may have been the idea. Of course, white can recapture with the bishop instead of the pawn, but then black gets in knight to c5 and he goes towards e4. There is a bit of compensation here. Also, we won't be allowed to play bishop to d3. So queen to c1, very precise. Take, take, and knight to a5. And another very good move, bishop to d3. Now, look how white's pieces are coordinating perfectly. He's actually threatened knight to g5 here. So for example, if black plays knight to c4, knight to g5, threatening to enter on h7, and in the case of g6, there is a typical sacrifice, which is knight takes and h5. And when the rook comes into the attack, this game is basically over. I mean, white's pieces are going to swarm over black's unprotected king. So, realizing this, Jan plays h6, and now rook to h3, preparing to swing the rook to g3. And you can see how there are 6 white pieces hitting the king. This is just too much. It's an overpowerment of the black's castle king. Knight to c4. White decides to push the queen back, which is quite sensible. And knight to h5. Also, to play knight to h5, it was important that the bishop wouldn't be hanging on d3. Now the threat is just bishop takes h6, going with the queen and mate. So black eliminates the bishop. And just see how white's pieces are attacking while black's pieces are still totally passive. This is a very good game just for attacking, how to attack like Magnus Carlsen. f5, rook to g3, hitting f7, queen to, this is over. I mean, Nepomniachtchi could have resigned immediately. So the key, queen to g6, and now knight to g5 and queen to h7 cannot be prevented without black having to give up the knight, maybe even the queen. So Nepo decided to call it a day. And after a couple more games, the match was over and Carlsen went on to win his 3rd Champions Chess Tour, putting another fantastic trophy on his huge and extensive curriculum, and just showcasing again why he is considered the best player in the world, and at some point probably will be recognized as the best player in history. Give me your thoughts below if you think he should be recognized as the GOAT of chess, or Kasparov or Fischer are in front of him. Again, have a good day, enjoy your game, enjoy your chess, and have fun and learn, improve here on the channel, and see you in the next video.